What's up, Game Rant community? Are you a fan of MOBAs? Because if you are, I might have just the thing for you. I recently sat down with Alex Cantatore from High Res Studios to discuss Smite 2, which has just released for its 24/7 alpha, and Alex might have just let slip a little exclusive for us here at Game Rant. So if you want to know the first two gods that are going to be added to the game post-launch, then just keep the video rolling, because that interview with Alex is about right about now.
Thank you so much for joining me, Alex. You had a pretty big thing happen over your way. You had the release of Smite 2 for its 24/7 alpha. So first and foremost, congratulations, because
Thank
it's been
you.
a lot of work. I know that you guys put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that one for sure. What's the reception been like so far?
Yeah, I think honestly it's been about what we've expected. I think that people that have played a lot of Smite 1 are really kind of pleased with where the game is. The feel of the combat, the smoothness of the game. It's at the point where I think that like the core game feels like Smite but better, right?
Unreal. So, as you mentioned, you've got a smaller roster coming into Smite 2. I mean, I don't think we're surprised because of how big Smite 1 is. But so we've got 23 gods, 21 familiar faces, two perhaps not so familiar. So we've got Hecate and Mordred have just joined in the battle, the fight. What's the feedback been like for your two new additions?
Yeah, I think it's been great. I think that people have really liked the way that Mordred and Hecate both tap into the new systems of Smite 2 to really push the idea of like what's achievable for a Smite god, right?
So one thing that really jumped out at me, I didn't play a lot of Conquest in the original Smite, but one thing that really jumped out to me in Smite 2 was the pre-builds. If I'm not mistaken, this is quite a new feature. Is this something that's really going to tap into? Obviously, you've got free to play coming up next year. Is this something that's really going to appeal to not just new Smite players, but new MOBA players in general? Was that the ideology behind that?
Definitely. I think we've learned through the years that there's a lot of people that want to play like MOBA style combat, and they want the depth of the like interweaving abilities in a team fight, and not just there's a lot of team fighty games that are like I shoot people, but also having the I'm in your face with a sword. Our thought with our kind of auto build system is what we call it is let's just take care of that for you if you're a player that just wants to focus on I click and I kill things, right? Like I want to focus on the strategic team fight combat. I don't want to worry about the items piece. So at the beginning of every match, you're presented with four options. One of them is I'm going to build myself. And the other three are builds that we've created that show you different ways you can play that character.
Okay, you touched a little bit about characters, gods. So do me a solid. Put my mind at ease as somebody who's loved Smite, and there's a couple of favorites that are still kind of over back in Smite 1 that haven't made the changeover. You've got an enormous roster, 130 plus gods, I think, at this
30
point.
on the dot, yep.
Yep, 130. So enormous roster. Undoubtedly, there's going to be a bunch of players who are waiting for their faves, for their mains to make that debut over to Smite 2. So what can you tell us about the future and how you plan to roll out these characters?
Yeah, so our current plan is kind of for the rest of this year, at least, we're going to be releasing two gods every 3 weeks in Smite 2, which is an enormously aggressive pace. And that'll either be two classic gods that we've brought over from Smite 1 with updates like Amir's Ball and changing for the stat systems and all that, or an all-new god and a classic god. So in this next update, I'm going to give you a scoop. We haven't officially announced this yet.
Okay.
In the next update, we're going to have New Wa and Amaterasu, two beloved Smite 1 gods. Our lead design director wears an Amaterasu hoodie every time he's on stream. So it's a kind of a meme in the community, but yes, Nuwa and Amaterasu will be the next two that are coming. And then 3 weeks after that, we'll have two more, right? We're going to have at least one more all-new god to Smite 2 before the end of the year. And another one probably early next year, I think. Very early next year, I think is the best way to say that. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me again. I just love getting the chance to talk about Smite 2. It's a lot of fun. If you want to jump in, we'd love to have you in the game. And hopefully we just keep building the game and make it better as we get towards our free-to-play launch, and hopefully welcome in a big group of players here early next year. So.
Unreal. Well, thank you so much for the chat. And the Smite 2 alpha is currently live now, but otherwise it'll be free to play early next year. Have we got a date locked in just yet, or we're just not sure?
Yet, but early next year, I think is
Okay.
very correct. As much as I can say right now. So.
Okay. So if you're new to MOBAs, maybe this early next year, Smite 2 will be something worth checking out. Speaking from experience, at the moment they've got a pretty tough field of players. So, I mean,
there's not really a new player experience right now. We still need to build out tutorials and all the stuff that, like I said, teaches you how to get from auto build to knowing what the items do. Like, we have this whole list of things we were trying to do. It's just, first it was like, okay, let's make the game that Smite 1 players will know and love, and then let's build it from there, right? So we're here. We need to go here.
Perfect. All right, thank you so much for your time, and I'm sure we'll be speaking to you again really soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much.